Hello, how are you? Hope you're well. John Barrowman's trending. I don't think he's trendy, but he's trending. He's trending on Twitter, and I made a video about him a few days ago. More about, for me, the hypocrisy of how one person gets cancelled for this, but the other person doesn't get cancelled for that. I'm actually of the opinion that cancelling people is not the way forward, and that what happens to people's careers should not be decided by a bunch of activists on Twitter, and that businesses and organizations and corporations should not be influenced by the voices on Twitter, especially when they're anonymous. That's too much power to give to anonymous people on the internet. But I guess these things we just have to watch them burn, because what do we do? These companies are going for broke, almost literally going for broke, by introducing so much wokeness into the movie industry and the TV industry. People are being preferred based on skin color. People from black and ethnic communities are being patronized by organizations who are like, yeah, we know we're not, we don't actually think you're not as qualified as like some of the white applicants, but we want you on board because we want your representation. That's what people are saying to people. It's awful. And it goes across the board with anybody who is part of a protected group are being so patronized. It's terrible, and I can't stand it. I honestly can't stand it. But anyway, the main thing I wanted to say was that if somebody starts behaving badly, as John Barrowman clearly had done, because he said he had done it. I mean, this is according to him. He's apologized. Yeah, I did it. I'm sorry. We had Noel Clarke, who's had 20 accusations from 20 women so far, and I think there's some more have come forward as well about his behavior towards women. And until we know the facts about these things, it's very hard to judge. We're supposed to be people who believe in innocent until proven guilty, but a testimony is evidence, and if there's 20 testimonies saying the same thing, it's hard not to. It's hard to sort of to ignore that. If I was an employer and that happened, I'd be like, okay, well, yeah, difficult one. So he's gone. He's cancelled. He's done. His career is over. His awards are all worth nothing. They're doorstops now, and John Barrowman, who apologized in 2008 for, according to him and according to staff at the BBC, this is a Radio 1 show, I believe, where he exposed himself, pretty much prompted by the presenter, because the presenter was asking him if it was true he did it on the set. So he does it in the studio. Of course, there's no web cameras there or anything back in 2008. So it wasn't on camera, but that's not the point. People who work at the BBC have a right to go into work every day and not have people expose themselves to them. Even if they're well known and everyone's laughing, it's the act of what's happening. It's kind of like, I don't really want to get moral about it. It's just, there's certain ways of behaving that are just like repulsive. And we don't do it in polite, civilized society. Unless you're saying, well, no, we should. We should all walk around exposing yourselves. If you're saying that, then this conversation's over. It's time to go and watch a video. I recommend Christopher, Lady in Red. You'll find it over on Vivo. Sorry, I'm not showing you the story. Here it is. John Barrowman, release of new Torchwood audio entertainment arts. John Barrowman, release of new Torchwood audio story has been scrapped. Torchwood's done, I believe. I don't know. I've never seen it. I don't know anything about it. I'm not a Doctor Who fan. I don't know anything about it. But that's been scrapped, this audio story. Now, you might think, well, what's the big deal? This is massive industry, by the way. But another story featuring John Barrowman as Captain Jack Harkness, his character from Doctor Who and spin-off Torchwood, has been pulled from release. Now, this is audio. It's not pictures. So my thinking is it's dead easy to get a new actor to play that role. So they will, especially because this is done by a company called Big Finish. And I'm pretty sure they would use lots of actors who did not appear in a TV show. Partly because of the fact that the original actors are probably very expensive, but also probably because this Big Finish also own a talent agency, and I've got a bunch of actors on the books. They are agents to actors. So what better to do than set up if you're a company that does audio dramatizations, then that is perfect to support. That perfectly supports having the agency of actors, because you can just push them all through the audio recordings. Now, the BBC gave Big Finish the license to do Doctor Who. Torchwood, Absent Friends, was made by Big Finish, the company licensed by the BBC to produce official Doctor Who and Torchwood audio plays. It was due to be released this month. In it, Captain Jack was due to be reunited with the Doctor, voiced by David Tennant, who played the character on TV between 2005 and 2010. A Big Finish spokesperson, 2005-2010 was a completely different time to now. Completely different. You would not get away with half the things that the TV shows were getting away with then. Is that I think that these shows that were getting away with things, I think it will go full circle. I think that when people realize that if we all operated under the rules of political correctness, now that they are so out there in almost to an extreme, that people will just be like get so bored, it'll become so bland. What qualifies as a joke will be so bland that there'll be somebody who says, right, I'm not doing it anymore, I'm going to be non-PC. And then a bunch of non-PC jokes will start coming up, and it'll be anti-establishment. Being PC will become establishment, as the BBC are doing right here. Well, this isn't the BBC necessarily. And in fact, you can help me out on this story, because who decides these things? It's because it says here, a Big Finish spokesperson said, "We have no plans to publish this title at this time." So that made me think, well, why is the BBC reading a statement from Big Finish about a BBC product? But of course, I don't think it is a BBC product. The license has been given to Big Finish. So I'm not sure what power BBC has over what it is they do. How much, I mean, what's in that license? Who gets the money? What's the BBC's cut? Earlier this week, a pre-recorded video featuring Mr. Barrowman's Captain Jack was removed from a forthcoming Doctor Who immersive theatre show. Worth noting here that Big Finish, who make the audio recordings and dramatizations, who also own a talent agency, also own a theatre. Who goes to theatres? Well, audiences with money and actors. Big Finish I've got the whole sector covered. In terms of like having platforms to launch the careers of new performers, how inviting would it be to say to an actor, look, we own the rights to Doctor Who, and we get actors on that all the time. We've got a theatre, so we can get you on stuff there. So come and let us be your agent, and we'll take 15% of everything you earn when you become a millionaire. And before, Mr. Barrowman was introduced as Captain Jack in 2005. Bit of background here about Captain Jack. I'm not really interested. Mr. Barrowman's conduct has come under the scrutiny in the wake of sexual misconduct allegations made against his former co-star Noel Clarke. The actor's behaviour was reportedly viewed as inappropriate pranks and not intended to be or regarded as sexual in nature. To be honest, it's almost like it would almost be good if you kept to that line and everybody just said, yeah, you know what, you were just being an idiot. Because that's how I interpret Barrowman here. I just think he's been a bit of an idiot. He has, he's just behaving like a child. And, you know, some people don't grow up. And you know, some people don't learn boundaries. In a way, it's the producer's job to bring him in line and say, look, stop doing that. I don't want to ever see you do that again. Not with anybody who, you know, I'm sort of looking after on my team, and on the team, not my team, the team. You know, I have a position of responsibility here. As far as I'm concerned, that includes protecting them from members of the production behaving the way you are. So stop it. That's what I'd say to him. It doesn't have to go any further than that. But he just carried on because nobody was saying anything to him. Because producers are terrified of presenters and talent. They become too powerful. And that needs to stop. It will stop, maybe. Because it's too risky to let them just go and do that stuff. It's too risky to let them shoot their mouths off on Twitter. Too risky. Even if it's stuff that, you know, one side are agreeing with. You know, if you say something that is, you know, deemed appropriate because it's liberal and it's progressive, what about all the people? I mean, bear in mind, you're running a business. As a producer of a TV show, you're running a business. Christopher Eccleston did an interview with Big Finish where he took a Q&A from people who tweeted questions to him. And he points out, this is my job. I do it for money. Number one, feeding my family, looking after my family. That's why everything he does is about that. He might enjoy it. Doesn't matter. He wouldn't do it. Even if he enjoyed it, he wouldn't do it if the money wasn't right. Money is the important thing. And that's why, because in our lives, our time has to be worth something to you. And that's all they're buying is time. You're buying my time. So, Barrowman is, he needs to be sorted out. And this needs to be the job of producers. And it needs to be the job and producers. And you need creative people above producers need to be able to say, you know, well, you're the producer, it's up to you. But that doesn't happen. Producers are afraid of commissioners. Commissioners are afraid of channel heads. It's how it is. I'm sorry. It's just how it is. It's a crazy world. But it has to change. We can't have, you know, it will be built into contracts that you will not comment at all about anything on Twitter. You'll just shut your mouth. You will not get involved in any sort of political arguments, or you won't voice controversial. You won't voice anything controversial on Twitter. You will publicize the show you're working on and show pictures of your puppies. That's it. And that has to be in contracts. Because you are essentially writing off a lot of money for the production company. Because believe it or not, businesses doesn't care about where people are politically. Well, a lot of businesses don't. A business, its job is to make money, and it wants that money from everybody, from whatever political persuasion they are. Which is how it should be. You know, these things should be available and accessible by all. But they're not being. So there you go. A bit of a rambly one, but that's what's happened. I kind of think he's cancelled now. I can't see him coming back from this. And I think that's a bit of a shame. I mean, I don't know him. I don't really like him. But I think I just think it's a shame that this is where we are. The last video I made was about the hypocrisy. I thought that was going on at the BBC, where they weren't doing this. You know, you can't cancel one person and not cancel another. So if you're in the cancelling game, you have to cancel everyone. Basically, my motto is that we have to let these people we need to let this burn, let everything burn, because that's what they're doing, letting everything burn. We just have to sit back and watch Disney burn as it continues to make superhero shows where the superheroes are not superheroes anymore. Because they are diverse in terms of race and gender and sexuality and abilities, physical abilities. You know, they're considering all those elements of and all those diverse characters and types of people that exist in the world are all reflected in Disney now. Unless, of course, they're selling it to China, and then they put a bunch of white people up the front. So let's watch the money coming in. Is the money going to be any good? Are they going to make money? Well, maybe not as much, but we'll see. Anyway, that's what's happening to John Barrowman. I think he's probably is cancelled now, and it's all over for the dear boy. So I'm kind of sorry about that, but interested to know what you think. What do you think is the solution here? Is it right that that these cancellations are happening? Should companies take this like a moral high ground on stuff? Is it the job of producers? Whose job is it to sort these people out when they behave badly? Is Twitter bad? Who are should organizations, corporations, institutions be listening to small groups of people with very few followers who have unicorns as their profile pictures? Should they be listening to what they're saying? The mob mentality of the anonymous crowd on Twitter is the power that they have is astonishing. Anyway, that was a 17-minute video about something I probably should have covered in 5. But I hope you've been enjoying. I kind of like, my plan is just to wrap up, is that when I make these videos, I think they probably might get longer. I kind of like want to, because this is what I enjoy consuming on YouTube. I want them to become things you just have on, you know, I'll watch it later when I'm having a bath or when I'm making a coffee, and you just have it on your computer or wherever it is while you're doing something else. And you listen to my dulcet tones and my views and my opinions on things. You know, and as the channel grows, I'll start bringing people in. I'll make new acquaintances and friends, I hope, and become much more a conversation. And I'll probably go longer. And when I start to, and when there starts being a following there, I'll start going live with these videos. But I'm really into it. I'm really enjoying doing this type of video, and I hope you're enjoying it too. I'm getting lots of positive feedback, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate people who have stuck around and have signed up to Patreon and are helping me out there, encouraging me to go. Please, by all means, do support me there if you can. There's very few people there, but I'm very happy to maybe introduce members only streams when it becomes a bigger family. And I have another channel. I won't get into it all now, but I've got lots of plans for having conversations with a community. I want to build a community. So the passerby going through YouTube might find a video like this, but there's other people who are part of a larger community who are meeting each other as well. It's not about me, it's about them meeting each other. Just being a place where they can talk about stuff like this, about what's happening in TV and film. Because that's my background, that's what I do, and I'm fascinated by it. So I want to meet other people who are also fascinated by it. And I'm also conscious I have the sniffles every time I do a video. That's not normal. I don't know why I've got this like weird sniffle. Right. Thanks for watching. You take care, and I'll see you next time. Cheerio.
Come on, man.